What is up, boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen? Welcome back to my garden. Here's some of the takeaways that I've had, kind of looking at everything, seeing how it's growing and whatnot, and I wanted to bring them to you first so you know how to run this setup a little bit more efficiently, in my opinion. I think 5-gallon buckets with the, strainers or water catchers so they stay hydrated is a good idea, yes. I would have done completely different fruits and vegetables in here, if I'm being honest with you. Here's kind of my reason why. So, with this setup, I think peppers, good idea. Onions, great idea. Potatoes, also a great idea. Lettuce, I need another, couple. It's supposed to be 4 in here at one point in time. As you see, there's only 1. And the other died, or I ate them, and maybe I ate too much. I don't know. But yeah, there's that. Strawberries. Okay, let me. Basically, this entire back row, I would have done all that differently. And here's why. So, when it comes to the back row, I personally feel that these buckets should be more for potatoes, onions, even maybe tomatoes, maybe peppers, because there's too much going on and they require too much water, in my opinion. So if you're somebody that's growing strawberries or blackberries or really any type of fruit, strawberries, blueberries, it doesn't matter. This is my personal opinion. I think they should be done in the actual ground or some different type of setup to give them more space. Because I just feel like, obviously, as you see, there's nothing I can do about this. What am I supposed to do? Attach 2 long stick things to hold this up? They're getting too big and they're overwhelming anything. I don't think I'm going to, but I low-key want to transplant these into the soil over somewhere. You know what? That might actually have to be done, if I'm being completely honest with you, because I really feel like they're overwhelming everything that's over here. And they're also not producing necessarily. And I knew they kind of wouldn't. My grandma used to live on I guess not a farm, but she had donkeys and stuff and outside dogs. Not like your dog goes outside. They lived outside. They was outside dogs. So that's basically a farm to me, or at least close enough, right? So she said that these fruit trees, plants, whatever, don't necessarily produce fruit the first year anyway. And I basically made this whole garden so that I have food to eat. So not producing for a full year, not a big fan of. Now, my lettuce, my peppers, my tomatoes, my onions have already produced things and I am able to eat them. So my thought process is I am going to continue to grow things that produce relatively quickly so I have things to eat. And also, this is just like how I've been thinking about it. Fruit is for real a luxury. If you think about it, back in the day when there were peasants and kings and knights and all that type of stuff, only the really rich people had fruit. Because fruit takes a lot of water, takes a long time to grow. It needs to be the right environment, the right circumstances. They get kind of moody. They're not like potatoes. You can just stick potatoes in a bucket and they just make more. So, yes, it is a luxury. Yes, it is even maybe a delicacy. And I love fruit, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love fruit. But I'm going to focus on things that I can, produce. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but I want to focus on veggies that I don't necessarily have to wait nearly as long on when it comes to eating them. Not only that, but I also feel like it's just overwhelming everything. These grapevines are now grabbing everything around them. I'm trying to I don't know what that's called, but get them to run up. But even when they run up, they're 3 times the size. Am I supposed to cut this or something? I don't know. So that's the slight dilemma that I'm running into with my garden. But also, this is the first time I've ever had a garden. First time I've ever grown anything. You've seen the harvest in the last video. If you didn't, make sure you check that out. But this is all trial and error and me hoping for the best, just because I saw that strawberries were like $6 a pound at one point in time. So then I built this and I made my own garden. Shout out to my dad for all the help that he gave me. He's a handyman and I am becoming a handyman. And handyman, a man who is handy, a handyman. So I have also gone to pouring the water on the vegetables, plants, instead of using the hose. Why, you might ask? I don't know. I read online that it makes a difference, and I guess that's what I'm doing. But I'm highly probably going to move those in an area actually in my yard, so it's in real earth, because I just feel like that might be a better situation for them, I guess. I've also really been trying to figure out how much water each one of these need. I've been basically just trying to do like 4 to 6 of these cups in each one, because I mean, obviously there are multiple plants in each one of these tubs, but I'm not for sure exactly, how the water gets distributed. If I pour 6 cups in here, does each plant get, 1 cup of the 6 cups that I pour in here? I'm not for sure. So I try to do my best just to kind of make sure that the ground's relatively moist or wet, I guess. And then it seems to be working fine. I think I might even be overwatering slightly, but my whole thought process is plants are kind of like people in terms of like, you want to make sure they're hydrated, you make sure they have sun. For the majority of them, you want to make sure they're outside. Like obviously you can grow them inside like greenhouses and things, but just like people, they kind of go stir crazy if they're inside for long periods of time. Or maybe not, maybe I'm just absolutely overthinking it and it is what it is. But I've also done this thing to where I have the hose on in this bucket. What that means is when I'm dipping my cup in here to get water, I have to do it in a somewhat timely manner, because this bucket will overflow with water unless I kind of speed it up. That's just one way I can kind of make sure that I'm not watering these things for, an hour when I'm out here. Like, hey, get some water, pour it in here, get some water, pour it in here, do this, do that. Hey, we're done. Let's go about our day. Because there are times in which I will be out here watering plants and stuff, and then so much time goes by, and I'm like, dang, I've been out here literally all day just watering. But sometimes, obviously, it does run over, and I'm not moving fast enough. The only time it was super efficient is when I used 2 cups instead of 1, but it is what it is. Also, have some little boys growing over here. Super excited to take them to their new home here in probably like a week or so. Because I have noticed almost immediately the difference between keeping them in these small cups and transplanting them into a bigger environment. I feel like almost immediately makes them grow and behave better. Not like they're children and they have bad, things, but I feel like immediately they kind of grow because they have more nutrients, they have more space, and it's just like moving out of that small apartment into a big old house, and you like, dang, I got all this space to be able to do things now. That's pretty cool. I also do have a lot of these. I think they were Korean melons. I'm not sure. Pretty sure they were Korean melons. Yes, I know I should have. And I don't know what plant this is. It looks like it could be a strawberry plant. I just don't really remember putting strawberries in like these cups. So I don't know. It is what it is though. But and The rest of these are basically dying off. Unfortunately, they're not having a good time. I've noticed the cucumbers specifically, they just need a bigger environment, or they start getting, I don't know what this is, right? Like, whatever this is, that's just not looking good in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, my bad. But I keep on watering them. Like, hey, at least you still got agua. And hopefully I can move you to a bigger environment here soon. Because I know it can't be fun, which is like you disease riddled. And yeah, that can't be a good time. But yeah, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this. I'm kind of just taking off these leaves that look like completely disgusting and hoping for the best. Maybe like a little bit more soil in this thing. I don't know. I'm basically just trying to keep it alive until I can find where exactly the new home is going to be for this thing to transplant it. And I also feel like cucumbers are also going to be one of my staples going forward. Because I was looking at the actual yield of like a cucumber plant, and it seems to yield a decent amount. So I'm thinking the best bet is kind of going to be cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes, onions, potatoes. And then, sure, like I have fruit, but I think that fruit is more or less going to be like in the ground and not really worry too much about the fruit. Because as you see, some of these are draining from the bottom, meaning that, you know, the water passed through the plant and is running out. That's why there's holes in the bottom bucket so the water can run out if I overwater them or something. But some of these fruit plants take a ridiculous amount of water for no yield. Like this one got like 2 raspberries on it and they don't even look right. They look like they don't have enough water. It's like, well, dang, how do you not have enough water when all I do is I feel like I water you all the time? But I don't know. But that's my thoughts. So switching it up, tomatoes, onions, peppers, potatoes, and cucumbers. Cucumbers are definitely going to be the staple, I think, just because of how much they yield. And cucumbers are great in terms of calories and volume. They're one of the, most volume foods that you can eat that have very little calories. So they're not calorie dense in the slightest, but you can eat a ton of them and they're really filling. So that's kind of why I'm, thinking about that. Then everything else, just so I can have a harvest that makes sense. I don't necessarily need fruit. Fruit is a delicacy. It is a luxury. Like I said, back in the olden days, only rich people have fruit. So I kind of thinking, why do I got fruit? I'm not rich. I mean, I'm rich in spirit. I got y'all with me. I got my family. I now got my health. I'm able to walk, doing my PT. If you missed my working out live stream, highly suggest checking it out. Check out the video. That'll be out, I don't know, eventually. Because I was able to do jump boxes today. I worked out with my friends. And I genuinely enjoy going to the gym. I can't help it. Everybody else is like, Trey, how can you spend hours upon hours in the gym? Look, I enjoy it. It's like one of my few happy places. I almost question, how don't you enjoy the gym? Like, how do you not enjoy getting healthy and being fit and doing all that type of stuff? And I do feel like everything's growing relatively well in this garden. Like I said, everything has sprouted up essentially from absolute nothing. Like everything in this section was made from seeds. So like I had the seeds. Oh, you trying to touch on me? I had the seeds. What do they call it? Incubated them? Or is that only for like embryos? I don't know. I took the seeds from scratch and I grew them and then I planted them. So I feel like I am, well, I guess incubated. I don't know. I'm basically the seed mother over here. And I'm pretty excited to see how these are growing. Some of these, like this pepper plant I bought already as a plant. It didn't have any peppers on it when I bought it, but it was already like a plant. Like I didn't grow it from seeds or anything like that. That was a plant. The lettuce, I already got that, was already like an adult lettuce. It was already growing lettuce on it. So I just basically planted that and then I harvested and eat it, you know, whenever I want. And then it grows more, except for when, I don't know, I guess I killed the other 3 that were in there. So I might actually look at getting more lettuce because I feel like I can definitely fit more in that thing. One thing I have definitely enjoyed though is like the reason why I like the gym so much is because you get to see the fruits of your labor, which is if I'm showing up every day and I'm consistent, regardless of what that looks like. So if I go to the gym every single day, I get my steps in. I make sure I try to eat healthy. You know, I live an active lifestyle. I'm not saying you have to be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you have to be a power lifter. I'm not saying you have to be an extreme endurance athlete. You don't have to run marathons, half marathons. You don't have to run 5Ks every day. Like you just have to be consistent. If it's yoga, if it's Pilates, if it's bodybuilding, if it's powerlifting, if it's swimming, if it's whatever you want to actually be good at, you just have to be consistent and willing to sacrifice every now and then. Not all the time, but every now and then on things that you know that aren't necessarily good for you, for things that you know will benefit you in the long run. And I really noticed this too when I was talking at the gym today to Autumn, because Autumn and her brother Jordan have amazing physiques. And when I say amazing, like I think both of them at any point in time could probably walk on a bodybuilding stage. They might not win, sure, but they could walk up there and you can be like, oh, this person trained for this. And they don't work out. And they don't have to watch their diet. I mean, sure, they do. They eat healthy, but they don't have to. Genetics are like that good. Shout out to black people because they got great genetics. That's why I look this way. I'm half black. I got half good genetics. That's why I blew out one ACL, LCL, MCL, meniscus, and one's good. I'm half and half. It is what it is. So, like, unless you're one of those people, it's just about consistency and giving up on the things that you know for a fact are not going to benefit you in the long run. Should you eat that piece of cake? Probably not. Is it going to feel great in the moment? Probably so. Would you be better off if you didn't eat the cake and ate a cucumber or a pepper or some fruit? Probably. But it's all about balance. If you're not trying to be, absolutely shredded all year round, eating some cake once, every month, once every 2 weeks, it's not going to kill you. Now, will it maybe throw you off your routine a little bit? Potentially. But that's what life is. Life is about figuring out what works best for you and however you want your life to work. Me, I can't even really have bad food in my house because if I do, I'm going to eat it. So, for me, I have to make a conscious effort to not have bad food in my house at all. And if I want bad food, I still try to pick healthy alternatives. So like not too long ago, I really wanted brownies. Now, I'm lactose intolerant. or lactose tolerant. I'm tolerant of lactose. Lactose tolerant? Intolerant. I can't tolerate. I'm intolerant. I don't know, but I can't do dairy. So I'm lactose. Whatever that, kind of breaks down to. So because of that, I was like, hey, I'm going to make a I'm going to make a black bean brownie. If you haven't tried it, it's not terrible. I mean, it definitely doesn't taste like brownies, but it's basically black beans with protein powder in it, and you bake it with the banana, and that's basically it. And it's a healthy alternative. Really, you're just eating black beans with some chocolate protein powder sprinkled in, and it kind of tastes like brownies. I mean, it's not, but like, it's close enough. And I know what some people say, like, oh, why would you want to do that when you can just eat brownies? Look, I can't help it that if I smell bread, I gain weight. So one of the things that I sometimes have to sacrifice is eating things that I know for a fact I would enjoy to have a very mid physique. You know how hard it is to have a mid physique, counting all your steps, tracking all your calories, and still only having a 6-pack? Okay, I shouldn't even say that. Only having a 4-pack in the morning. It is what it is. What I'm doing now is I'm just basically getting more. And Trey, why are you putting water on top of them when you said you were doing more of the pouring? Yes, I know what I said. But I feel like sometimes to kind of make it seem like it's raining, which it might actually rain today. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to just be cloudy. But it lets the plants know, hey, yeah, we watered the roots. That's for nutrition. This water is, I don't know, for us to stay hydrated or something. Like I said, I'm not for sure, but it kind of works in my mind. I'm basically just I'm treating these plants as if they were people. And people need sunlight, they need water, they need consistency. And that is what, my friends, I am trying to give all of my plants because they deserve it. And I'm also trying to cut off some of these dead leaves. Because I heard you were supposed to, or maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm doing my best over here. And just like that, welcome to my TED Talk, or thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Also, I have some more peppers being grown in here. This is the only place that I can really get like sunlight coming off so that I can still keep them inside, kind of incubate them. I think that's the right word. And then once they grow enough, I put them in those cups. Then they get transitioned into my garden or sold. So if you need some vegetables, hit me up because I got some extras and I'm selling them for like the low. You want a whole pepper plant? $5. Okay, I might run a special. Buy 2 for $5 instead of 1, or like just, I don't know. I got a lot of these and I'm eating what I can and producing as much as I can. So yeah. Also, if you're somebody that wants to start a garden like this, I highly recommend the totes. I feel like the totes were just a lot easier than building that out. Sure, I think that looks kind of cool, but I feel like you can get so much more in just the totes themselves. So that's just me. But really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm officially your neighborhood gardener or your gardening buddy. Whatever you want to call that. I'm a gardener now. I'm gardening. I'm learning to I'm learning to garden. And thank you for stopping by. This whole channel is about eating healthy, being consistent, working out, growing our own food so that when zombie apocalypse comes, I'll have 4 not ripe tomatoes, but I'll have something. Okay, I'm just learning the skill sets to help me survive in the end times, I guess, or basically what the Lord wanted me to do, which is till the land. Even though this is not the land, they're in buckets, but there's land in the. I don't know. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.